Okay. Okay. Are we live? All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to call this regular council meeting to order. Glad that our citizens and employees and the council members are here for our regular council meeting. This morning, Councilman Turner will present our invocation, and then we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, as we gather for this town council meeting, we ask for your wisdom and clarity. May your Holy Spirit guide our discussions and decisions, ensuring that we serve the best interest of our community. Open our minds and hearts to new ideas and help us work with integrity. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you first for your invitation. Appreciate it. Our first item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from our regular council meeting on October the 21st. There was a small typo in the minutes that we received in the council packet. Ms. Fleming corrected the typo. It was the word septic replaced by sewer in the item. So with that being said, I need a motion to approve the October 21st meeting.
So moved.
Thank you, Bill.
Second.
Thank you, Dan. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of to approve the edited minutes, signify with aye.
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
Aye.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, the edited minutes are approved. Next item on our agenda is to be addressed is the adoption of the agenda. I'd like to ask that we amend the present agenda for the meeting by moving item 5, which is the council and mayoral comments, to the end of the meeting. And also we need to add a resolution to surplus a Public Works F-150 truck. With that being said, I need a motion to adopt the agenda with the aforementioned amendments.
So moved.
Thank you, Bill. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Diane. Any discussion? All in favor of adopting the amended agenda, signify with aye.
Aye.
Okay. Jim?
Aye. Aye.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, so the agenda as amended is adopted. Mr. Streetman, you are up next with your city manager report.
I'll try to talk loud, not drown everybody out. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to begin by thanking the Public Works staff, the police, and I don't know if the fire were involved, chief, but for our snow event we had last week, I think it came in stronger than we thought. Gave us all another taste of winter. I've got Cody here today. The city, we are working every day, prepared for winter weather. Got the plows on now, and we've got 25 tons of salt, I believe, this came in, and so we're getting ready to get ready to make brine and get ready for that. Just a notice and reminder, whether you've lived in Sky Valley for 30 years or 30 days, from late October to early April, there's a chance for snow anywhere in Georgia, especially Sky Valley. So just be ready for that. We do treat and plow the roads. However, depending on how quickly a snowstorm event happens, we may not always have time to post notices. We just ask people to use common sense, be weather wise, and to have at least 3 days of food, water, and meds in the event we are snowed in. Again, because Mother Nature always wins. Also, I think it's important to know that we do this for emergency responders, or police or fire. You know, a heart attack doesn't care if it's snowing. You know, we want to keep the roads clear. So if folks are out venturing, they get stuck, they impede the road. You know, that can impede first responders from getting on site. So anyway, don't want to beat that to death, but just as we get into the winter time, it is important to know that As far as notices, we do MailChimp, email blast, city website, city X, city Facebook. We also have a one-call system. We don't do that a lot, but we do that if it's needed. So if you do not have, we do not have your email address or phone number, we can't contact you. So that's something, after the meeting, we can add that if need. As we've had work sessions as well as the public hearings, but plan to pass the budget today. Tax bills should be going out late November to early December, with a sometime in February due date. So I just want to share that. As we get into the latter part of the calendar year, each year, this time of year brings a lot of compliance, renewal activities. With that being said, we recently renewed our Firewise application. We found out that we are a Firewise community for another year. That's important. We've also submitted our renewal for Tree City. I believe this would be, what, 9 years, Jim, if we get it? Yes, 9 years. Have not received confirmation, but that is something that we do every year. It's important to have those Tree City and the Firewise certifications. Just a quick reminder, STR, short-term rental license. If yours is about to expire, please renew it, or if you're doing it without a license, please renew it. As we finish out the calendar and fiscal year, we are around 98% on received revenue. And what we've taken in, which is about 1,503,000 of the 25 budget, which was anticipated to be 1,533,910. We are estimating that we will receive somewhere around another 25,000 in additional revenue. Typically short-term license, court fines, interest revenue, visitor center sales, building, free permits, etc. So we're thinking probably somewhere about 1,528,000, 1,530,000. So we'll get close. And then on the expenditure side, this time of year, we should be around 90% or about 86%. So I want to thank the staff, department heads for being intentional and things that we buy to try to watch out. But as we trend things out, barring anything unforeseen, our expenditure should be somewhere about 1,480,000 to 1,490,000. So we're actually, that's good. The water fund, we should finish up somewhere around about 525,000 revenue, 575,000 expenditures. We talked about that. Trash side, about 221 revenue, 217 expenditures. Again, that's what we're anticipating to trend things out. I want to talk about the ARC grant application. As you all know, the federal government is back open. We would have thought we'd had an answer, but as of this morning, it's still under review status. So who knows? They have not told us that they need any more information. I would just imagine that there's a backlog, but certainly as we know something, we'll be sure to get that information out. But as right now, just want to say that it's still under review status. Next week is Thanksgiving, and the city will be closed next Thursday and Friday. So employees can spend time with loved ones and give thanks for the many blessings we have in life. Also, since the last meeting, we had citywide elections were held. New mayor, new council members coming in early January. The organizational meeting should be January 6th for them to be sworn in. And they will be going to elected officials training in February. I believe that's right, Karen?
Yes.
So with that being said, unless there is a need for a special or emergency meeting, this should be the last council meeting for this calendar year. And on behalf of the staff, I'd like to thank the outgoing mayor and council for their dedication over the years. I wish them the best. As we get into December, City Hall will be closed Thursday, Christmas Day, and Friday, the day after Christmas, for the Christmas holiday. And that pretty much concludes everything to be discussed.
Comments or questions from the council?
Jason, I've got a question, and maybe wait for Cody, but when we brine the roads, say if we brine them on a Monday, snows on Tuesday, snows again on Thursday, if the roads are clear, do we have to re-brine those? How long does that brine last once it's applied?
Well, Cody, you probably answer.
Yeah.
I think when the snow melts, it kind of washes it off.
It does, yeah, it's really, it really just depends on how much snow and what kind of snow. If we get a real wet snow, then it ain't gonna last. The brine really just, makes a barrier between the asphalt and the snow or ice to keep it from freezing and melts, quicker. So to answer your question, I would say yes, we would have to rebrine unless it was just a very light snow.
Just a judgment call.
Yeah, I would say so.
It's tough.
It's so hard to determine how much we're gonna get and, what kind of snow. Is it wet, is it dry? It really just depends.
I would like to thank our public works guys that took care of this issue the other night. They worked all day that day, went home, and then came back and worked all the way through the night to make sure that our roads were gonna be safe in the morning. I certainly appreciate, it was dark, it was cold, and I heard you all go by our house at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I knew you all were out there. So please tell all the gentlemen involved, Cody, how much we appreciate what they do. Thank you.
Yeah, and just to go on that right there, I'd like to say thanks to, all the patients. It was sort of spur of the moment, but I think our crew responded very well.
I know they did. Thank you very much.
We had conversations, Madam Mayor, actually that day, because
Yeah.
we had 2 public hearings, and I remember asking Jerry that morning, what does he think? And, you almost have to kind of be shade tree meteorologist sometimes, but to kind of further answer Bruce, when you brine the roads, it is kind of if it rains first, it's just gonna wash it off. It does well, if we get a couple, 3 inches, it typically melts it pretty good. If we get 6 or 8 inches of snow, it's kind of useless. And then when it comes to plowing, we need a certain amount of inches of snow to really plow, because if we only get 2 or 3 inches, it doesn't work well. So again, we have several tools at our disposal. Again, Mother Nature always wins, but I would like to say that when it comes time to do things, the guys, we've got the equipment, they've got the know-how, we get after it.
Yeah. How many tons of salt does it take for one brining?
Usually it takes probably 10 to 12 tons to do a full city brine.
Right.
We have to keep it at a certain concentration or it doesn't really work. If you get it over a certain concentration or under a certain concentration, it does no good. So it's about 17 to 23%.
Yeah.
To make it work.
I think it was a whole lot.
It takes a lot.
Yeah.
It does take a lot to cover the road. We try to plan, if we think that it's not gonna be too bad, we'll make one pass down the middle of the road. If we think it's gonna be real bad, we'll make 2 passes. So it really just depends.
Yeah.
On what we're seeing on the weather apps or what we've seen in the past.
Thank you, Cody.
And we actually have another tank that, right now, the bottleneck can be when we had 1 tank, you had 1 truck out treating 31 miles of road. We have another tank now that we can hook up to the other trucks, so we can actually kind of divide and conquer. So
That's good.
that's good, yeah. Or we can hold, what, 25 tons at one time, or
Yeah,
shed?
we can store about
Yeah,
25.
so we use about half of that when we brine, and then use a little or some more, but yeah, there's a lot of, we spent a lot of time looking at the weather, in the winter time.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from council? Any comments or questions from the meeting participants? Okay. Would you introduce your department heads for their reports, Jason?
Well, Cody, we'll go ahead and let Cody go ahead since he's next, and then we'll probably go with Mr. Pyburn and then Chief Thomas. Yeah, here. My man, you got the mic.
Good morning, everybody. Public Works would like to say thanks to the fire department and the police department. We were called a little off guard the other day, and I did see the fire department. I don't know who it was. They were at the bottom of the ridgepole
doing something. And always, thanks to the police department. I don't think we've had the chance to say thanks to the volunteers for the Fall Fest. But I think everything we done turned out really good. Cleaning up for Fall Fest. Christmas lights will be coming up. We'll probably start that the first week of December. We'll wait till after Thanksgiving. I know some people put their Christmas tree up first day after, or first day of November. Anyway. Road department, gonna be working on leaf backing. I'm sure y'all seen across from the pool down there, there's some leaves. We're gonna be working on that. We'll be working throughout the whole city. Well, I'm trying to think if I want to say this or not, but if you're gonna blow your leaves down in the ditch, go ahead and do it now. That way we're not, trying to pick up leaves in March or April. Next thing is we're gonna be, doing one more round of pothole repairing. We're gonna be working on, Fairway, driver lane at Bayberry. See, we encourage people that if you see something out and about that you think needs to be looked at, we encourage you to call City Hall and make a work order. We'll be glad, it don't matter how big or small it is, we'll be glad to go take a look at it and do what we can. Let's see, on the water side, of course, we've talked about leak detection. We've really tried to make a really good effort at looking at the small details of things, the PRVs and what the pressures are and stuff like that. And really tried to make a good effort at keeping notes and making sure we're paying attention to the small things. Because we've talked about it before, it's not really the big leaks that add up. It's all the small leaks throughout the system that really add up and make our conservation, goal to reach. But I am proud to say we're making leaps and bounds towards our goal. We have a commitment to be under 20% water loss. Last few months we've met that goal. I'd like to think that working through next year we need to stay at that or less. Let's see.
Cody, what do you perceive as the rationale for why we have reduced the water leakage so much?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we've got leak detection equipment. We've got leak lit, the listeners, the loggers, just boots on the ground,
Pressure too.
Yeah, replacing the pressure reducing pits. Anytime we can reduce the pressure, that's gonna help,
Sure.
We're doing another annual, we've done it one time earlier this year, but we're doing another one this year. A lead and copper sampling. We've got 20 samples to collect before December 31st of this year. The next thing on water is Dustin went to Gainesville. When was that? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And got the training to be able to take his class 3 water license test.
Great.
So anytime we can, get the training for water, anything like that, it's a good thing. I think we've done touched on this, but I'll say it anyway. Freezing weather, insulate your pipes in the crawl spaces. Put a little, like a bathroom heater, mini heater down in your crawl space. That'll help. Leave your cabinet doors open on exterior walls. Like if you have a sink on an exterior wall and it gets real cold at night, it can still, freeze. Just leave your cabinet doors open. That'll help the heat get to it. If you cannot reach your water valve, like if you're going out of town, it's wintertime. You need to turn your water off. You know what I mean? So if you can't reach your water valve, call City Hall, make a work order. Be glad to go turn your water off for you. We encourage people, if you're gonna dig in your yard or anywhere near the street, call Georgia 811. When you call Georgia 811, they contact us and we go out and mark the water lines. When you call Georgia 811, they also contact everybody in the area that has a utility. Georgia Power, Windstream, True Vista, us. What's the power company out of North Carolina? Cause they're close. Yeah, Haywood. That way, if you end up hitting a utility out in your yard, they're gonna charge you for it. If it's not located. Last thing I want to talk about is sanitation. We've noticed that there's been an abundance of cardboard and it's not being broken down. We recommend and please, if you will, break your cardboard boxes down. So it makes it a little easier and a little more efficient for our guys to pick it up. Last thing here is, please don't put your trash out before Monday. We've had to pick up a lot of trash over the last couple months and have noticed some being put out on Friday or something like that. And we try to, explain it to the homeowner or call City Hall if nobody's home, they'll try to get in contact with them. But, that's all I got.
Cody, I want to say that the council and I so appreciate your dedication and commitment to preparing for and successfully passing all the water certification tests.
Yes, ma'am.
That helps us, the city, out a lot because we used to have to contract that service out from $1,500 to $1,800 a month to have our water tested. So we appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank Dustin also.
Yes, ma'am.
Council, do you all have anything you need to add or say to Cody at this time?
Quick question,
Yes,
Cody.
sir.
How much of any lead pipe have we found in Sky Valley over the years?
When we done a lead service line inventory, we did not find any lead throughout the homes that we went into. Now, I'm not saying that there's none out there because I know there is. There's older houses up here, but as far as us, what we were required to go in and physically look at or, make a note of just to do the state mandatory inventory, we couldn't find it. Now, I know coming down the pipeline, 2027, there's gonna be some revisions of lead and copper and stuff like that. And it's getting to be a lot more, I guess, city involved in what's in people's houses, or state involved, and then it trickles down into the city and stuff like that. We've had Georgia Rural Water come up and do some sampling with us out in our distribution system, and our lead levels are very, very, very minimal. So I would like to think that there is less than 1% of lead in our distribution system. Now, I can't say that for what's in people's houses, but like I said, there are some older houses in Sky Valley that I'm sure does have some.
Thank you, Cody.
Thanks, good.
Anybody else on the council? All right, and if you need to say something, Sharon is making me tell you, you have to come to the microphone. Right, Sharon?
With my loud voice?
Yeah.
It's for those people's sake.
Yeah, it's for the video people.
I have a question
All right.
for Cody. Better stay. Cody, I got a call yesterday. Killed it. Did I short this? Wow, sorry about that. I got a call yesterday from a contractor and he wanted to know how often the city comes to pick up just 5-foot sections or less of tree limb trimmings and things like that. And he said that he had heard, and he said he wasn't sure if he heard it from City Hall or who he heard it from, but they only come out, you guys only come out a couple of times a month. But I said, I'm not really sure. I think it's on an as-needed basis. But can you
Yeah,
clarify?
absolutely. Yeah, so every Monday when we do the trash route, the two guys that's in the trash truck make a list throughout the whole city of where the brush piles are. We compare that to what work orders we have and see how much is out there, you know, when we need to pick it up. If it can wait a week, then we'll wait a week. But through the summertime, we pick up once a week.
Okay.
We pick up brush once a week. Wintertime, it's probably gonna slow down a little bit. We're gonna be on weed and stuff like that, but at minimum, it's once every 2 weeks.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions for Cody? All right, you're free, Cody.
Thanks.
I'm afraid to touch it.
Don't touch it. You don't need to touch
Don't
it.
anyone come here. Actually, I'm gonna go out of order here. Cody was talking about, I know in the Sky Valley Times, which just came out recently, my little departmental update was regarding wintertime and how to winterize your pipes and all, whether you're seasonal or full-time. And so that's very, very important. I have a neighbor that year before last, they did about $400,000 in renovations to a house that they had purchased. And right around Thanksgiving, they had a pipe freeze. That was the year that it got down, I mean, like close to zero. And they had $200,000 in damage. So it's so important that you guys heed those warnings and that advice and make sure that you winterize your house. If you don't know how to do it, call us or, you know, talk to a plumber, but you Google it. There's a lot of information out there on how to do it. I don't know if it's been brought up, but November 15th, it's okay to put your bird feeders back out. And I know some people, you know, they're not clear on the dates, or they just, you know, don't always follow the rules. November 15th to May 15th. So, you know, for the nature lovers out there and for our pheasant friends, please go ahead and feel free to do that. It's just a couple of days ago. Let's see, what else did you mention? I'll think of it in a minute. In September, and I mentioned this at the last meeting, I issued a citation for roof work being done up on Bayberry without a permit. The contractor ended up paying the fine and you know, getting the permit and completing the work. And the only reason I'm bringing it up again is because this same contractor in the month of October was issued a citation for failing to pick up tree debris from a bunch of trees that were cut down. And I went up there Friday afternoon, late Friday afternoon, and he was working on it. But yesterday made 5 weeks. You're given 14 days, so he had 2 weeks. So right now, he's 3 weeks into the fining period at $100 a day is what the ordinance reads. So he's up to $2,100 as of yesterday. I'm gonna go up today and see if it's completed, but court is a week from today. So if it's not done between now and then, either he shows up for court or we'll have to take other, on the bottom line, something else to get him, you know, to pay that fine. And as well, I also talked to the owner because the ordinance reads contractor and our owner. And I let the owner know, listen, you know, if this guy doesn't take care of it, you're liable as well. So, and he said, you know, don't worry, he'll take care of it if this guy doesn't. So of course, talk to chief. Oh, let's see. What's that? Oh, yeah, another final. Chief. Cleanup continues on Wild Bird, another tree issue. I was up there last week and it's a very, very steep couple of lots that a bunch of trees were cut down a few months ago, actually. And the homeowner had gone away for several months and came back again. She has told me that it will absolutely be cleaned up. She'll pay whatever fines are necessary. And Cody was just telling me he was up there yesterday, excuse me, and said that there was a lot of work being done. So I'll go up there again today and determine what it is. The lots are so steep and there's so much debris down there, you can't really tell the number of trees that were cut down without a permit. And until it's cleaned up, you know, we're gonna have to count the stumps. I mean, that's how you determine, you know, how many trees. They've made some significant progress, but again, this is another tree issue that, I mean, yeah, as much as I think everybody should know about this, and I think most people do, you need to get a permit to cut down trees. No certificates of occupancy were issued last month. We had 2 the month before. The construction is continuing on 1160 Knob Drive. They've installed the windows, they now have HVAC, they now have electric, and they now have water. Obviously, you know, it's been roughed in, they still have a lot of work to do, but at least the progress is moving along at a pretty quick pace now. I mentioned at the last council meeting that I issued 2 new home permits, one at Upper Ridgepole, the other one at Ridgepole and Covered Bridge. I was up Sunday evening walking my dog and saw that the one on Upper Ridgepole, they have put out the marker stakes. They're getting, you know, they're trying to get ready for the foundation. And the one down on Covered Bridge, that's been cleared, and they should be following suit very shortly, you know, weather permitting, which I think the rest of the week, the weather's gonna be pretty decent. I still have one possible permit application for a new home build on Saddleback Circle. I met with the homeowner yesterday. He said he's finalizing his financing toward the very end here. He should be pulling the trigger anytime. So that will be one more. I told him we'd really like to see it selfishly before the end of the year so we could get it on this year's revenue. October of 2025 this year, 15 building permits and 17 tree permits. So a total of 32. I work 16 days out of the month usually, so that's 2 a day averages. Last year, 17 building permits and 17 tree permits. So we're 2 behind the last October of last year. So we're right on track. That's it.
Jim, I want to thank you. You have done a fantastic job helping our citizens understand the building codes and the permit process, checking in with them, how they're doing, also helping them having our citizens help them make decisions on building on their house or building a new house, and always following up on this. Also, thank you for being part of the Planning and Zoning Commission. I think that was important for you to volunteer for that. You've done a fantastic job. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Council, any questions or comments for Jim?
I'll just reiterate what you said. Jim and I work together pretty closely,
Yeah,
and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
thank you.
I remember
You remembered it now?
what Cody brought up.
Okay.
Yesterday, for example, somebody reached out to me and said, hey, did you know this was going on? Somebody's putting up a new fence, possibly cutting some trees. I did not. Went out and checked it out, and I'm following up on some issues, and I appreciate that. Cody had mentioned, if you see something, say something. It really helps a lot, because as much as I drive around 30 miles of roads, and I'm here 4 days a week usually. And I've asked, you know, the fire chief and the police chief and everybody else, you know, when you're driving around or you know, one of your neighbors is doing something without a permit, let us know. And it's not to be punitive, but you know, there's rules and we also need to abide by them. And I was talking to somebody yesterday. I mean, the fee schedule doesn't always, it's not as though the city's making money off of this. So, you know, please, if you see something going on and you think, well, I wonder if they need a permit, don't, you know, be shy about calling me or calling City Hall and letting us know. We'll go out and investigate. Sometimes it's something minor, sometimes it's something major. And especially if it's something major, you want to make sure that some construction is going, you know, as it's supposed to, and it's not, you know, going to become a life safety issue. Because I mean, you know, I've seen some decks that have gone up. It's like, this isn't going to cut it. I mean, this is dangerous. You know, I can do a better job than that, and I'm not a carpenter. So anyway, if you could please bear that in mind. Thanks.
Thank you. Any comments or questions for Jim from the meeting participants? Okay, I think you're on, Ron.
Good morning. I would just like to start off by echoing the part about the snow. Officer Clark was on day shift that day and Officer Williams came in that night. She stayed over with him to help calm the chaos. They assisted more than 50 people, including people that slid off the roadway. They had to redirect traffic through the PD parking lot until they could get somebody up there to help them. They drove several people home that couldn't get their vehicles wouldn't go up Ridgepole per se. They took somebody down to the hotel in Dillard. They just really went above and beyond. And during the whole time, they also stayed in contact with the road department to let them know for bad spots, and the road department was letting them know about where vehicles were stuck. But their actions really demonstrated what community policing is. They both have a true servant's heart, and they focus solely on the task of helping the community and the visitors. And it was really cold that day, so they were out in it quite often. But I'm just really proud to work with all the officers in the department. And I've already privately, told both of them that they did a great job. So I just wanted to also say outstanding job publicly. Also last week, Sergeant Maloney, who's with us today, he was invited to North Georgia Technical College. They were having a crime scene class, and he was invited because he is a certified instructor, to help the students to understand and to do the process correctly. But in my opinion, it was an honor for us to be invited to something like that. The word's getting out that we have an instructor in-house, and the more we can utilize his skills, the better. I've got my October numbers here. We're still running 20 less accidents this year than we had last year, so that's always good. And that's with traffic enforcement, I believe, is the key to that. Our mutual aid calls are up by 17 this year from last, and that's because we're working with other departments now. It's not, if we need Dillard, they'll come to us, or vice versa. We're responding to things for the sheriff's office up off of Bald Mountain, that's just outside our city. Now they know we're willing to respond to stuff like that. Our resident checks are right at 26,500 for the year, which is about equivalent to last year, up a little bit, not much. Our public assists are way up. We have 253 public assists this year compared to 131 last year. And that's because the officers are out actively engaged and looking for needs that people, it's not just when they call us, it's when we see a need and just volunteer to help take care of it. So that's great for getting out there and talking. And a lot of it has come from the Mountain Talk initiative, when you're out just gathering information and giving information that we're passing out. It could lead to a public assist of helping them do something that we need. Visitor escorts are up 42. We're 67 this year compared to 25 last year. So that's, again, they're actively out there looking to assist people when needed. Our call volume was up 113 more calls this year than last. It's just the city's busier, more people up here visiting and renting places. That's all I got.
Any questions or comments for the police department? We certainly appreciate everything that the police department does for our citizens and visitors. Chief Thomas, also appreciate you all going out of your way to create relationships with everybody here. Your hearts are big. We appreciate everything that you do, and I want to know who the murder victim was at your training.
Well, actually, what it was a high school competition to see who could come in and process the crime scene the best. So we were able to give them pointers on how to do things the right way and all that. But I was one of the judges, and there was 15 high schools throughout the state, because this was a state competition. So there was 4 police officers and a couple of volunteers, but we had a lot of groups come through, and we had shown how to actually enter the crime scene, process it, and go through the whole from beginning to end, and how to take evidence and all that. So the kids got to learn a lot, and the competition was great. And I believe for that portion of the competition, Buford High School was the winner. So,
Cool. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any comments from,
It's just great to be invited to stuff like
It
that.
is.
It really is.
did they know where Sky Valley was?
Some of them did. Actually, some of them did.
Okay, great. Council, comments or questions for the police department?
Good job.
Great job.
Team effort.
Team ed, comments or questions from the meeting participants? Okay, you're off the hook, Ron.
Thank you.
Is that all our department reports, I think? Did I miss anybody? Okay. Next on our agenda is committee reports, and we're not really going to have any committee reports this time, but I want to tell all the citizens and the council who have participated on all our committee reports, committees for the last 6 years, you all are so appreciated. This is a dedicated group of hardworking people, and I appreciate it, and I know the city has benefited from everything that all our committees have done. I think our city, if there's a need, our citizens are the first, I think, in Reagan County to respond. And I'm proud to be part of that. Okay, next, let me see where we are next. I'm skipping. All right, I think our next part on the agenda is to consider the resolution to approve the 2025 millage rate. We've been going through this process for quite a while. We've had a workshop and 3 public hearings. So I think we pretty much have explained all the details of this particular budget. Mr. Streetman, do you want to give a quick summary of the proposed tax millage rate and read the proposed resolution?
Can you pull it up?
For the, yeah. For the millage.
As discussed, Madam Mayor, Council, those in attendance, the proposed budget for this year is to maintain 9.609. A resolution to set and declare the tax millage rate in the city of Sky Valley, Georgia for calendar year 2025. Whereas the governing body of the city of Sky Valley is the mayor and council. And whereas it is necessary to set and declare for the 2025 tax millage rate based on the 2025 digest and 5-year history of levy, which we use to levy property taxes for the city of Sky Valley, Georgia. Now therefore, be it resolved by the governing body of the city of Sky Valley, Georgia, that for calendar year 2025, the gross millage rate is to be set at 9.609 mills. 2025 tax yes and 5-year tax history levy is attached here to and incorporated for reference. So again, as well discussed, Madam Mayor, Council, the recommendation is to maintain the 9.609, and if that's the pleasure of the council to approve, and that will be the way it goes.
All right, I will need a motion from the council to approve the resolution to approve the millage rate. Thank you, Tony. Second. Okay, you get it, Dan.
Okay.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of this resolution, signify with aye.
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. All right, the millage resolution is passed. All right, next we're going to come to the resolution to approve the fiscal year 2006 budget. If you will read the resolution, Mr. Streetman, we will go with that.
A resolution to provide for the adoption of a budget containing the estimates of the proposed revenues, expenditures, and to provide for the levy of taxes for expenditures for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2026. Whereas the city manager has prepared and submitted to the Sky Valley City Council a budget for the year beginning January 1, 2026 and ending December 31, 2026, represented as Exhibit A. And whereas the city council has studied and reviewed the proposed budget, it is considered to be in the best interest of the city to adopt it. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Sky Valley City Council that the budget attached hereto and made a part thereof for the year beginning January 1, 2026, and then December 31, 2026 is approved. Again, that's, as you can see, just for one final time, it would be I have memorized as much as I've been running these numbers. 1,600,000. $37,634.
I want to thank you again, Jason, for all the work you did to produce this budget and your presentation. Thank you. So I'll need a motion to approve a resolution to approve the 2026 budget as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Bill. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Bruce. Any discussion from the council members? All in favor of this resolution signify with aye.
Aye.
Jim?
Aye. Aye.
Thank you, sir. All opposed signify with nay. I think it was unanimous. The budget resolution passes. Thank you. All right, now with the added agenda item that we talked about at the beginning of this meeting was for a resolution to surplus a Public Works F-150 truck. Jason, if you'll talk about that right now.
Cody's here today. He could probably fill you in a little bit more on that, but it's 2009 F-150. It's technically a gopher truck, go for this, go for that. Do you know how many miles?
Right at 200,000.
200,000 miles. It's just got to the point where you're putting bad money, good money after bad. We've done work to it. And at this point, it's not operating, it's not running. It just makes sense. Let's go ahead and surplus it. This is the pleasure of the council. We will put it on Gov Deals that we've had a lot of success with. We can get it off the books, get it off the insurance. And that is the request. It's exhausted all of useful lifespan, and it's just time to put it to pasture.
Questions or comments from the council?
My only comment is it just always amazes me how much more we get for these surplus vehicles than I think they're worth.
That's because Jason is really Monty Hall, and I said that to one of our younger employees, and he said, "Who?" So if you're old like us, you'll forget it. Thank you, Jason. All right, any comments or questions from the meeting participants? All right, I'll need a motion to pass the resolution to surplus the F-150.
I move that we surplus the F-150.
Thank you, Dan. Second.
And I'll second.
Thank you, Bruce. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of passing this resolution signify with aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Thank you. All right, the resolution passes. All right, the next part of our meeting this morning is the public forum and general comments. So any person who has business they would like to present to the council that's not scheduled, that has not been scheduled in this meeting packet, we're going to give you 5 minutes to talk to us. If the speaker must identify themselves by name and address as per our charter. Would anyone like to speak during this time?
Yes.
Please come up, sir.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Jim. I'd like to take this time to, on behalf of myself and the Sky Valley and Scaly Mountain Fire Department, thank the outgoing council. Your support to us in the past few years has been phenomenal. It's been a tremendous help to us. And along those lines, any help to us helps us serve the public better. I think we're a step above par, let's put it that way, around this area. I'm not going to take 5 minutes. I just want to say thank you very much for all the work you've done and all the support you've given us.
Thank you.
You can.
And we appreciate everything that you all do for us
Yeah.
during events and also fires and so forth. And thank you very much. Anybody else? Anybody online?
Robert Smalley wants to talk.
All right, Mr. Smalley, introduce yourself and take it away.
Maybe put it on chat, so let's just see what he's got. Okay, 103 Buttermilk Circle. Thank you to the mayor and each council member for the work you've done, for all you've done for our city.
Thank you, Robert. We appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Okay. All right, the next item on our agenda is the executive session, and we include that on our agenda every month as kind of like a placeholder for the event, in the event we need to talk about property issues, personnel issues, or possible litigation. And I'm happy to report we don't need this agenda item at this time. All right, the next part of the agenda is the mayoral and council comments. Council, do you need to make any comments, since for some of us, this is our last meeting? Anybody need to say anything?
I would just like to say to all of the employees, staff, what have you, it's been a pleasure working with you all. You do a great job. And I hope you continue.
Great. But we do have a whole group of very dedicated employees who are loyal to the city and go well beyond their scope of responsibilities. And we do appreciate all of you all for working with us. It's also been a privilege of mine to work alongside these gentlemen up here. They approach their responsibilities with diligence and consistency, and I know they do it for the big salary that they receive here. And I know that what you all have done is helped move our city into the future and being in a great place. To paraphrase Shakespeare's play, Henry V, about the Crispin Day speech, from this day forward to the ending of our world, I shall remember we few, we happy few, and you are lifelong friends, and I appreciate everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
And now it has come to Tony Allred's favorite portion of the council packet and agenda. Since we finished items on the agenda, Mr. Allred, take it away.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It is my pleasure to bring to a close this final meeting of our council. Having completed every agenda item, giving everyone an opportunity to express their pleasure or displeasure. I would just ask that we bring this meeting to a close.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, is there any need for us to even vote? Let's go ahead and. All right. In favor of signify with, it is over.
It is over. It is done.
It's over.
We are.